Thank you very much. It is great to be here. It is a very exciting time for rare earths. I know you've heard, if from no one else, from Arafura just a few minutes ago about how turbulent the environment is for rare earths. And what we're doing in ASM is we're building a global rare earths and critical minerals business in that exciting environment. Obviously, the announcement this morning from our Prime Minister as well as the President of the US about the framework agreement is a really important development. But what we've really seen here, this supply chain is heavily concentrated in China. It has been for a very long time, and everyone knows that. We've all been aware of it and, largely just been accepting that. And, what we've seen really since the introduction of the tariffs earlier this year with Liberation Day and the retaliatory responses from China restricting some of the exports from that supply chain into the rest of the world is we've seen that awareness that there's been a complacency about that to date and people really not making the investments that are needed to work to move away from that supply chain, that dependence on it. We've seen that shift and there's now an urgency of action, and I think today's announcement from the Prime Minister of Australia and the President about creating these frameworks across jurisdictions to accelerate a pipeline of projects to develop this ecosystem that is this alternative supply chain is very exciting. So our strategy within that context is that we are building a mine to metals business. It starts with our project here in New South Wales, in Dubbo, where we have an advanced project where we will mine, separate and refine the rare earth oxides as well as some of the other products that are in that polymetallic ore body. And then we intend to take it through, not just process through to oxide, but take it through the next two steps in the supply chain, metallise it and alloy it. And we've taken the unusual step of committing our capital to that step in the process first. So we've built our first metals facility in Korea. We built it through the COVID period. It's been in production since 2022 and we're in ramp up at the moment of that facility and already well advanced in our planning to replicate that facility in other jurisdictions, including the US, but also got consideration for doing that in Europe as well. One of the exciting developments this week, it's hard this week to keep track of all the exciting developments, but we went to market late last week for a capital raise and we announced the outcome of that yesterday. So we've just raised $55 million Australian just this week, and that means that the work that we're doing there in that metallisation area for expanding our Korean facility and expanding into other jurisdictions is now well funded, so we're excited about that. This is a video of the facility that we have there in Korea. So this is a substantive commercial facility. We're very proud of it. As I said, it was built in 2022. I have her deputy here in the audience, who is our rep director there in Korea, who's with us here today, but very proud of the team and what they've built here. This facility is currently has got installed capacity for 1,300 tonne per annum of that alloy material, the NdFeB, that is the main constituent for these high performance magnets that are going into so many of these advanced applications. And what we have been doing is we have been building up our network of customers in the Western magnet producers. Some are established, some are emerging. This is an area that has been moving slowly until this year, but we're seeing rapid increase in the demand for these non-China magnets at the moment, and that's exciting for us. So we've gone through quite detailed product validation processes over the last couple of years with Novion Magnetics. That is actually today the only US magnet producer who's currently producing, and they're based in Texas in the US, but also with Vacuum Schmelz, who are in Germany. They are currently commissioning their second facility in South Carolina, with USA Rare Earths, where we've just delivered 5 tonne to support them on commissioning of their new facility in Oklahoma, and Near Performance. We've been supplying them with metal now for a number of months into their Asian and also their newly opened facility in Estonia. So lots of opportunity there as these magnet producers start to ramp up their productions for us to be able to ramp up our facility in Korea to be able to support them, and we're excited about that. What we've got installed there in Korea at the moment, as I said before, we've got 1,300 tonne of installed capacity. We are looking at the moment to take that through to 3,600 tonne, and that's what we went to market this week. So that is now fully funded to be able to do that expansion, to take that to 3,600 tonne. That will take us about 20 months, we believe, from the point where we commit. But we're also working on expanding the product mix. So in addition to the light rare earth metals and those alloys, we've been developing our own technology to be able to metallise the heavy rare earths. This is a very scarce technical capability outside of China, and as far as I'm aware, there's only one other non-China cast house globally that's capable of doing this. So that's exciting for us. We also have plans to be able to do a phase 3 to take it through to 5,600 tonne. Good financials when we're up and running at full capacity, which is great. But excitingly, we are well advanced in thinking about how we can replicate this in other facilities. And there's an enormous amount of support in the US, both at federal level and at state level, to be able to put these facilities in place. We've got plans, we're well progressed on our site selection for this in the States. We've got plans to be able to finalise our site selection this year. We're already well progressed in the process with the DOW for funding support for this facility, and we will move into permitting for that next year and construction on that in 27. So these metals facilities are exciting. We're working well with some of the third-party suppliers in Europe and in America and in the US for the feed for this, but we would love to be able to bring our Dubbo online to be able to feed from Australia directly into these facilities. And we've been developing the Dubbo flow sheet for some time, and we've got a fantastic long life ore body there. There's 75 million tonne. It's in a fantastic jurisdiction. It's fully permitted. We've done the technology work to develop the flow sheet. We've got the advanced engineering in place. And really the challenge for us has been getting the investment, the capital really, to be able to take that investment decision and bring it into production. And so one of the things we challenged ourselves with in the last year is, rather than doing the whole flow sheet, because this is a polymetallic, in addition to having the light rare earths, it also has zirconia, hafnia and niobium. And so rather than bringing all those products on at once, what we've been considering is, can we do it in phases and do a rare earths only phase first and reduce that capital outlay to be able to then bring it into production faster. So we put out a scoping study in July of this year, which I'm very happy to say was successful. We demonstrated that using the heap leach option, we've got a simplified flow sheet, we've got a substantially reduced capital, and really also very good cost. So these are just a summary of the results from that. You can see they're still giving you oxides. I don't know any other project, not just in Australia, I don't actually know any other project globally that is taking mine all the way through to oxide for less than $750 million. Now, obviously 740 million is still a lot of capital, but that is less than half of what the original capital was and less than half of most of the other producers' projects in Australia. But importantly, it's not just lower capital, it also, because of the simplification in the flow sheet, this is a process that has very low cost of operation ongoing. This will be first quartile costs, not just for the NdPr product, but also the dysprosium and the terbium. And this is going to give you 3 discrete high purity oxides. So we're excited about it. We're also excited that we do already have significant support for the debt side. So there was an announcement this morning about the fact that as part of this framework agreement, US Exim is going to support other projects in Australia, and I'm very happy to say we've already got our letter from US Exim. We've already got a letter for 600 million US support for this project. So we'll continue to work through this with those funds to be able to hopefully finalise our funding next year. So that is the ASM story. These are exciting times. They're volatile times in rare earths. But at ASM, this is what we've been preparing for. We're ready for it. We're excited for it. And we would love to have your support. Thanks very much for your time.